quickly coming to my panelist, Major Mohommed Ali Shah, quite the masterstroke. The move surely is a way to completely remove the Thackeray's and Uddhav Thackeray's from this political game in Maharashtra. Please, yeah, go ahead.
And Devendra Fadnavis very gracefully and politely said that he would not be part of this new government by Eknath Shinde, but he will support this government from outside. Now this can be looked at by two things. First, that he could be very gracious enough by letting go, okay, I'm not being the chief minister. Or the second signal is, he said, this is a message that BJP is not looking for power, it is looking for ideology. And Shiv Sena's actual ideology when Balasaheb Thackeray was in power was Hindutva. Very similar to BJP's ideology. In fact, when Uddhav Thackeray joined hands with Congress some time back, we were all very surprised. We were all making guesses whether this government would, how long it would survive and how long it would happen. But now people were expecting Devendra Fadnavis to become the chief minister, and it was a, as you call it, a master stroke, which Atharvia disagreed to. Eknath Shinde comes as the chief minister, 7:30 will be sworn in. Now, which only goes to prove 120 MLAs with Devendra Fadnavis and 50 MLAs with Eknath Shinde, which also could mean that Devendra Fadnavis would hold the control from externally, and Eknath Shinde would be the chief minister, but the reins would be, the controls would be with Devendra Fadnavis. Now, they also said that JP Nadda, the Home Minister Amit Shah, Prime Minister Narendra Modi would support the government, obviously, BJP government, so they would support it. But now the golden question is to actually see who actually runs the Maharashtra government, be it behind the scenes, be it holding the reins, Megha.
Interesting. And isn't it the fact that this is going to have a multi-pronged impact? If I can quickly get a remark from Major Mohommed Ali Shah. So how does the situation, what is going to be the discussion that is going to be held in the Thackeray drawing room at this point?
Well, Megha, firstly, so कहते हैं जले पे नमक छिड़कना, because Uddhav Thackeray is totally out of power right now, and Eknath Shinde, who was in his ministry, now he is being appointed as the chief minister, who Uddhav Thackeray had given him a mouthful when all the MLAs, most of the MLAs rather, from their party voted for the MLC. They voted for BJP, in fact. So now when he went up to Surat, then he went up to Guwahati with his team, and now he's come back. And there was a lot of speculation, let him come back to Maharashtra. Then unko samajh mein aayega, and they will probably get some sense. Yes, they have come back with a master stroke, I would say, because as you said, no one had actually expected this to happen. But that is the speciality of the Prime Minister Modi, Narendra Modi. He springs surprised at the last minute. One doesn't know, one can't imagine, one can't even think of certain things, and that thing comes up. So till now everybody was saying that, okay, Devendra Fadnavis would be the chief. Now what would happen in the drawing room of the Thackeray's? Well, Devendra Fadnavis, as I said, either he would control actually from outside, he would, because since he had experienced 2 terms, they were expecting him to get a 3rd term, he would have the control because Eknath Shinde may not have that required experience as yet. And the numbers also show 120 vis-a-vis 50.
You're talking about the numbers, and of course that was the remark that was made by Eknath Shinde himself, the fact that BJP has the larger number of MLAs and still decided to go ahead and pick Eknath Shinde with his 39 MLAs to go about forming the government. So it means the cabinet berths are also going primarily to, the important ones will be going to these 39 MLAs. Amongst these 39 MLAs, I think the 8 cabinet berths is what has been assured of as per the sources that have given information to our channel on NewsX. But also, Major Mohommed Ali Shah, in terms of the future for the Thackeray's, as strong a leader as Balasaheb was, who controlled the entire Maharashtra despite not being in the position of power, despite not having his cabinet ministers, it looks as if Uddhav Thackeray and his son Aditya Thackeray are weaklings, perhaps never being able to garner the kind of power and support that their ancestor had.
Oh, well, Megha, this has been historical actually. Many a times you find children of very successful fathers who are in power, they do not actually, they may not necessarily meet up to what the power of the father was. Baba Thackeray, actually, he was the king of Maharashtra. He controlled Maharashtra despite not being the chief minister or the governor or formally, officially being in position of power. Now, when Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray, the tussle broke out because one was a nephew, other was a son, and who would the power go to, who had worked for the party more. Now, this is all a question about that they believe, BJP has proved the fact that they actually believe in ideology more than power. Uddhav Thackeray, which was very contrary to Shiv Sena's ideology actually, when he shook hands with Sharad Pawar and they had an agreement at that time. So at that time itself, many people were speculating that this, in fact, since 2019 November till now, that government has lasted. Well, it was not a smooth sailing as it might look from outside. It was quite a bumpy ride actually. But yes, what it projected outside to other people was, okay, smooth sailing. This also was a bonus, I would say. It was unexpected. Till now, how they have been continuing. Now, will Devendra Fadnavis feel bad about not being there? I don't think so. Because Devendra Fadnavis himself has been very gracious himself by saying that I will not be in this power, but I will support the government from outside. Because it is like, I've been in a position of power. I've been a CEO of a company. I cannot rejoin that company as a manager now. I have to maintain my stature, my stand. So it's the same thing. But again, the new CEO, will look at the ex-CEO for guidance. And it always happens. It happens in school principals. It happens with head of states. It happens everywhere. So yes, what I am seeing it as Devendra Fadnavis would still hold the reins because he has 120 vis-a-vis 50 of Eknath Shinde.
Oh, absolutely. It is going to be a puppet-controlled government.